listening, Colonel. So hear this. This war is over. Dubai will be evacuated. And you will be relieved of your command.
Hello and welcome to the Achievement Hunting 101's Game Club. This is week 3 of our Spec Ops The Line discussion. I'm Wakapeil, and with me I have
Dinobull, what's up?
And BenL72, hi.
Last week Delta Team had a bad day on the job. They had just killed a large quantity of civilians with white phosphorus and walked through what remained of their burning bodies. The final thing that we heard was Conrad making contact with Walker, Conrad being the leader of the 33rd Battalion. After a brief discussion between Conrad and Walker, the team jumps out of a building and they see two people strung up, and Conrad asks you to kill one of them. One of them is a thief, and the other is someone who killed the thief's family, and you're asked which one to kill. You can either kill the thief, the killer, or you can choose to disobey the order from Conrad.
Is it possible to live when you disobey? Because I tried disobeying twice and got killed nearly instantly.
You can't survive it.
Oh, okay, I just suck. Alright, cool.
It's very difficult on a higher difficulty setting. The snipers do a lot of damage.
I was going to say on the higher difficulty where we are, it may be not quite so easy.
I believe that I disobeyed and survived the encounter when I did it on the difficulty you're playing on now. I did not do it when I was playing on the highest difficulty. That sounded not very fun at all.
Yeah, I ended up picking the guy that went and killed the 5 people or whatever, killed the whole family.
Yeah, same choice for me.
Immediately after, you are ambushed by the 33rd. Walker yells at Conrad to have his soldiers stand down, but Conrad tells them that they want to get their revenge on the Delta Squad for what they did at the gate, where they killed a lot of the 33rd Battalion and the civilians.
Seemed a bit odd there that he just kind of made you prove your loyalty and then immediately attacked you.
Conrad is making it clear that he is not the one orchestrating that attack, but he can't hold his men back. There's a rather extended firefight, and it doesn't end until you're hit by a sandstorm, which helps you evade your attackers and find a shelter. When you find the shelter, Walker sends a message to Conrad telling him that Dubai will be evacuated and that Conrad will be relieved of his command. After the sandstorm, Delta decides to head for the tallest tower in Dubai, where they suspect that Conrad has set up his headquarters. On your way there, you find Agent Riggs under attack by the 33rd. Agent Riggs of the CIA has been mentioned before, but this is the first time you meet him. Riggs immediately tells you of his plan to take out the 33rd's water supply. As he goes through his plan, the 33rd finds you and attacks. You also learn that it is the CIA that armed the insurgents. You fight your way to the Aquatic Colosseum until you get trapped by a locked door where you are attacked by an elite squad of the battalion called the Zulu Squad.
Is this the first time you run into people that have that armor?
Well, except for heavies.
Yeah, well, they were smaller soldiers with armor though. It was weird.
Yeah, these are supposed to be tougher, but I was playing on easy and couldn't tell much difference.
I could tell a slight difference just because when I made headshots, some of them weren't going down off the bat.
I'm hitting them in their feet and they go down on easy, so doesn't matter where you hit them, they go down anyway very fast.
Nice.
You fight off Zulu Squad until the door opens. Riggs has a very violent encounter with a soldier who basically beats to death with his gun. You then fight your way through the garage of the Aquatic Colosseum. During the fight, Adam mentions that he does not trust the CIA. And Conrad calls you and tells you that destroying the water will doom everyone in Dubai, including your team. You decide to steal the water anyway. You steal some water trucks with rigs.
Yeah, that aquarium part I can imagine is really hard on hard if you don't stealth it. Because I was playing on normal and I didn't stealth it at first, and there's like a bunch of snipers that just came up. I don't know how you went about it, Ben.
I kind of had a running firefight. I just did lots of cover and taking out the snipers with headshots. I was also trying to mix up the weapons because I started popping all the achievements. So I was looking forward to sniper rifle and shotguns around corners and things. It was quite fun. I did die a lot though.
Oh, I bet.
It is a bit strange that you can totally stealth a lot of sections in this game, but it's not clear to you that you can do it. They do teach you early on how to put the silencer on a gun, but by now I'm sure many have forgotten how to do it.
Oh, I forgot. I just kept making my teammates, I kept like commanding them to do the stealth stuff.
Exactly what I did.
I couldn't figure out how to do the stealth myself, so.
I think it's just up on the D-pad, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking for the controls and it wasn't anything obvious labelled in the options menu, so I just commanded the squad to kill everyone.
When you steal the water trucks, you get attacked by the 33rd, and there is a really difficult on-rails section where you hang from the side of a truck and fire with a grenade launcher.
Yeah, I remember seeing someone in the Discord saying they quit after this part.
I couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
I remember this being one of the most difficult parts when you were playing it on the highest difficulty. You really have to hit things or they will kill you very quick.
Yeah, I went through that a few times, kind of learning the patterns and exactly where you've got to hit them when. I don't look forward to doing it on Fubar.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many checkpoints there are.
I think there's just like one throughout that whole thing, maybe.
Yeah, it might be. It's a rather long sequence. Eventually, Riggs deliberately crashes its truck and spills the remaining water. The truck you are following also crashes. Walker goes down and Conrad shows up, telling you the city will now die of thirst and that it is your fault. You wake up and see civilians trying to salvage water while the radio man broadcasts the news that all the water is gone and that it is Delta's fault.
Yeah, and Walker's pretty messed up after this too, which I mean you see throughout like I assume rest of the game. Like side of his face is just burnt and all that.
Yeah, the further you go into this game, when you start out you have clean clothes and everything looks good, and the further you go the more damage you see on the characters of your squad. By now they look really beat up. You find Riggs stuck under a truck. He explains that this is what he wanted all along and then asks you to kill him before the flames get to him. So did you kill him or not?
I shot him. Even though I do feel like he's a dickhead, but I shot him.
Yeah, same here. It wasn't a great plan, but no one deserves to go that way.
Yeah.
Well, at least not till the next playthrough.
There's an achievement for either killing him or walking away. And if you walk away, you also see a deer that you can shoot for an achievement if you didn't do it in the first part.
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't think to shoot it. I mean...
You didn't have any ammo, you only had one bullet.
Oh, okay.
At this point you're separated from your squad, and the radio man is very upset you destroyed all the water. You hear that Lugo is taken hostage, and you rush to save him. The 33rd is trying to get Adams to surrender while having Lugo at gunpoint and using him as a human shield. You save him by killing the guy that is holding him. At this point you're in a big shopping mall. You fight your way through it, all the while conversing with the radio man. Things get really weird when Walker enters a mannequin room.
Oh, like the flashing lights?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
The enemy's teleporting around, basically, it looked like.
Yeah.
The screen goes black, blinks in and out, and the enemies, they basically teleport around.
It started giving me a headache, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, ugh. I don't know how much more I can look at this.
I was playing it on easy, and the enemies go down really quick, so
Yeah.
that sequence wasn't very long for me. I remember it taking a lot longer on a higher difficulty.
Yeah, I spent most of my time hiding behind the kind of counter thing and blind firing with a shotgun over the top.
Yeah, the team is getting very aggressive and very annoyed with the radio man, and they decide to go after him. They also plan to send an emergency broadcast to begin the evacuation using the radio man's equipment. After fighting through the mall, they find a soldier surrendering, and they threaten him rather severely, and once they've gotten all the info they wanted, they beat him down.
Well, Walker beat him down. Not everybody did.
Walker did, and the entire Delta squad are very much on edge at this moment.
Yeah.
They are not very happy, and they are not acting.
And arguing amongst themselves.
They are not acting professionally or composed at all. They are getting very angry about everything. After beating down the soldier, the radio man decides it's time for some music and sends a bunch of snipers at you. And then you zip line across some buildings. When you have zip lined from one building to another, it looks like you land on Adams and then you beat his head in.
Well, actually, I died at this part because I was like, maybe my dude's tripping and that wasn't a bad guy at first, and then, I don't know, I thought it was playing mind games with me, so I got shot and I had to reload to the checkpoint.
Yeah, so something is not very right, and
Yeah.
it seems like Walker is cracking up.
Okay, so that was a choice then, because wasn't a choice then, because I wasn't sure.
No.
I sort of pressed B to execute and went for it. I wasn't sure if I could have said no.
Yeah, you have to kill him, because I just sat there for a second because I wasn't sure. I was like, if I do this, am I gonna like actually kill Adams or something, and like some weird hallucination? But no, he kills you and you have to retry.
After that encounter, you find the radio man's tower. He's decorated the place in a very strange fashion. You start killing off soldiers that are stationed on the roof, and while you do so, he's taunting you and makes strange comments every time not every time, but sometimes when you kill specific soldiers.
He makes a lot of video game references. Like, I remember him saying something about E for everyone, and then saying like, "Oh, you guys is all the violence caused by video games? Like, what is this?"
And that part is very strange. The radio man is a eccentric person. After fighting through his tower, you find the radio man. He waves a white flag, but doesn't seem very bothered with you being there. The team asks him to show how to send a message, and as soon as Lugo has figured it out, he just kills the radio man.
Yeah, that part kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise.
He was pretty quick with that.
Yeah, he's basically killing him mid-sentence while they are having a conversation.
Yeah.
Before you send the message, Conrad calls in and tries to make you change your mind regarding the evacuation. But you call it in anyway, but you do not know if anyone hears the message or not. You escape the radio tower. While you do so, a lot of soldiers show up and you steal a helicopter. Delta destroys the radio tower with their helicopter to send a message.
Yeah, Walker seems like it's clear these last couple of chapters he's been losing it, but like that segment, just the way he was acting while he was shooting and stuff, or I guess while you're shooting, it's just like, oh man.
He is very over the edge at this point.
Yeah.
He just wants everything destroyed. After you destroy the tower, you go into the introduction section.
Yeah, that part was trippy.
The very first thing Walker says is, "This isn't right, we did this already."
Yeah.
And it's basically the same sequence, only a bit more difficult, and they've added some missiles that you need to shoot down or you will fail. After the helicopter crashes, the screen goes red, and there's a sort of dream sequence where Conrad blames you for destroying what is left of Dubai, and you see the tall tower.
And you're like walking by victims.
There's shadows in the background, and you see the tall tower, and everything is red. And there are people walking and falling through the sand in front of you, and your victims during these days in Dubai show up, some of them, and just dies again.
Yeah, Walker's clearly in bad shape by this point, isn't he?
Conrad claims he needs to protect the city from you, and that is the end of chapter 12. So next week we will finish the game.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, going. I don't even know what to think after this chapter 12, man. I don't even know what to think.
Yeah, the team is once again separated. They are in a even worse spot than last time. They are clearly losing it.
I think this is going to end with maybe us not being straight up the bad guys, but it's going to be kind of one of those things where it's like, are we the bad guys? Or, are we doing the right thing? Kind of. I mean, I guess that's kind of where it already is in the story, but I feel like it's going to end on a note like that.
The standout thing so far is they killed a bunch of civilians with white phosphorus.
Yes.
And then they destroyed all the remaining water in a desert city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, and I'm not even for sure if the evacuation's the right call now. Like, I'm kind of like, maybe Conrad's right. Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you want to evacuate the people?
Because maybe it's safer in the city. I don't know, man.
Yeah, the storm is really bad outside.
Yeah.
And the first attempt by Conrad didn't go very well. It sounded like a lot of people died the first time.
Yes.
But a lot of people are dead now as well. Admittedly, we killed them, but...
There's not much of the game left. There's only 3 chapters and an epilogue. And you might not even get an epilogue, seeing as there are multiple endings.
Dun dun dun.
And I said it before that this is a game where I think they actually nailed the endings. You might disagree with me, but I think they did it really well.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, next week.
Thank you, BenL72.
Thank you.
And Dinobull.
Thank you.
For joining me. Have a nice day, everyone.
See ya.
See you next week.
There were over 5,000 people alive in Dubai the day before you arrived. How many are alive today, I wonder? How many will be alive tomorrow? I thought my duty was to protect this city from the storm. I was wrong. I have to protect it from you.